majority of Imo State House of Assembly, particularly the leadership, members of the Imo State House of Assembly, serving and non-serving, Your Excellency, the former Governor of Imo State, Chief Ikedi Ohakim, the State Chairman of our great party, All Progressive Congress, and the Chairman, Board of Federal College of Fisheries and Marine Technology, Lagos, Samandola Ebere, PhD, and members of APC State Working Committee, and if possible, if available, members of the National Working Committee that are here, the Zonal Working Committee, the Secretary to the Government of Imo State, Chief Cosmos Simu, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Barrister Nnamdi Anyili, all the members of Imo State Expanded Executive Council in our midst, the Chairman, Government Board of Federal Polytechnic, Lekki, and members of other federal institutions in Imo State, the Clerk of Imo State House of Assembly and Head of Legislative Service, Barrister Mrs. Chinedu Enora, Chief Executives of federal government agencies in Imo State and outside the Imo State in our midst, the Chairman of Imo State and Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers, His Royal Highness SAEC Okeke, the Chairman, Imo State Council of Elders, Co-Chairman, Southern Traditional Rulers Council, His Royal Highness SAC Ailoma CON, Chairman of the various local government areas in Imo State, ably led by the Argon Chairman, Engineer Kedna Adekibi of Olu West, heads of security agencies, other royal highnesses in our midst, stakeholders that are invited to this place for this function, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Speaker, honorable members of Imo State House of Assembly, my beloved Uzodimma, listening to the Right Honorable Speaker's address, I think he has already done the presentation of this project for me.
Exactly.
But it is with deep sense of duty and profound honor that I stand in this hallowed chambers to present the draft estimate of the 2026 budget for Imo State. We've gathered once again to give vent to accountability and transparency, which are the very essence of our democratic enterprise, or if you like, the oxygen of democracy. As required by the clear provisions of Section 121, Subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it is mandatory that I, as the governor, lay before the State House of Assembly the budget estimate for the next financial year, any time before the end of the preceding financial year. But beyond the Constitution, this act symbolizes the sacred bond between the government and the governed. The essence is for you, honorable members, as true representatives of the people, to thoroughly scrutinize these estimates and ensure they are in tandem with the wishes and aspirations of our constituents. This is democracy in action. Every year, we come before the public to lay bare our income and the expenditure, so that the people we serve remain on the same page with us. This annual ritual is solemn and sacred. It connects us to the people and avails us the auspicious moment to present our scorecard from the previous year. Mr. Speaker, this is practically my second to the last budget before I will complete my tenure as Governor of Imo State by December 2027, when I will present my final budget. I'll be only a few weeks away from the end of my administration by December next year, when I will also be here again with you. We shall mark 6 years in office in the next few weeks, leaving us with just 2 more years to conclude the mandate entrusted to us. As I stand before you today, in the presence of many distinguished Imo leaders, I am reminded of the solemn and instructive words of St. Paul in the Bible. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. While I still have 2 years to go, and thus cannot say I have finished the race, I can confidently say that yes, I have fought the fight, and I have kept faith. Let us cast our minds back, looking back 6 years ago, when we started. Imo State was in a very severe distress. Everything was falling apart. Or to put it in a popular slang, everything was kaput. The roads were death traps. General infrastructure was in a severe coma. And our hospitals, schools, and living standards were in abject neglect. To cap it all, there was passive insecurity. Perhaps the simple way to sum it up is to say that our dear Imo State 6 years ago, right, and where the semblance of democracy was available at best, if available was a child. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House of Assembly, the state of affairs we met in 2020 bears repeating because human memory is short. How many people still remember the condition of our major roads at that time? The Owerri to Olu Road, the Owerri to Okigwe Road, the Owerri to Mbisogo-Umuahia Road. How many still recall the dusty and broken internal roads across the Owerri metropolis? From Control Roundabout to World Bank, Chukwumamoa, Lake Mwebere, MCC Road, Douglas, Emmanuel College to Junction, and Relief Market, among others. How many of us still remember that in 2020, the Imo State University Teaching Hospital was a scene of decay, with dead bodies left unattended in the wards, and that the institutions could not graduate medical doctors for years because they lacked the manpower and the equipment to do so. How many remember that Imo had only 2 struggling universities, repeatedly denying accreditation for several courses? And how many, my dear honorable members, still recall this world-class? How many still recall that this world-class complex we sit in today was in total disrepair, so unsafe that even you, the honorable members, have to abandon it to avoid the risk of building collapse? How many remember the state of civil service in 2020? The workers who endured selective system of salary payments, poor working conditions, an analog payroll riddled with fraud, and morale at its lowest. How many pensioners remember when pensions were elusive and gratuities has gone unpaid for over 20-something years? How many still remember that in 2020, no aircraft can land or take off from the Sam Mbappe International Cargo Airport after 6 p.m. because there were no night landing facilities. These are the snippets of the harrowing state of affairs we met on the ground. Today, the difference is as clear as daylight and night. We have restored and rehabilitated more roads than were done in the decade before we came on board. As I speak, we have delivered over 130 solid roads. Look at the new Owerri around you. Is it the same new Owerri you used to know? We made practically no functional hospitals, whether primary hospital, secondary or tertiary. Today we can boast of at least 6 state-of-the-art general hospitals, functional primary health care facilities, and leading tertiary hospital. We met 2 epileptic tertiary institutions on the ground. Today we have 4 NUC approved universities competing with the best in the country and more critically, we met a frightening security challenge. So bad was the situation that cannibalism was added to the lexicon of banditry. Human life was reduced to the value of chickens and goats. No one was safe, and many fled our dear state in fear of their lives. But today, by the grace of God and assistance from the federal government, we have secured Imo State. So safe is our state that only a few days ago, we hosted world leaders at a world-class economic and investment summit. Indeed, I have fought the fight, and the results are evident everywhere. I have kept the faith because I promised to anchor my administration on the 3 plans of rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery, resting on the philosophy of shared prosperity. Through our shared prosperity program, we have restored the lost morale of our workforce. Imo State today prides itself as the state that pays the highest minimum wage in the country. Through our Skill Up Imo program, we have graduated thousands of our youths who are now either self-employed or working for multinational corporations. I will return to our achievements in details during the sectorial review of this presentation. But suffice it to say that we have positioned Imo State on an irreversible path of growth, industrialization, through democracy, and economic breakthroughs. The global economic context, Mr. Speaker, no economy is an island. Our subnational economy is heavily influenced by the vagaries of the national and global markets. The wars in different parts of the world have affected export and import trade, while unstable oil market prices and cross-border terrorism have led to a global economic slowdown. Yet, despite these headwinds, the pragmatic and audacious policies of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, coupled with the resilience and pragmatic frugality in our public finance management, have ensured that Imo State remains above water and floating to the glory of God. From the inception of this government, I told the citizens of Imo State that we will anchor our drive on the 3R mantra, which today is a household slogan defining the development of our dear state. We have ensured that no zone is left behind in the spread of development initiatives. Our road infrastructure cuts across all local governments, so do our huge investments in human capital development and other forms of development. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House of Assembly, against this backdrop, it is my pleasure to present to you the sectorial breakdown of our salutary achievements in the last year. In housing and urban development, we are changing the skyline. Our commitment to changing the skyline of Imo State remains unchecked. We understand that a modern state requires modern housing and functional public buildings. To this end, we have intensified efforts in the implementation of Imo State housing estates at Ngolbaka, the Uzodimma exclusive estate at Abu, Port Harcourt Road, Concord Boulevard, the Old Zoo. We have also completed the regional government house office in Oro, designed to take governance closer to the people. Within the year, we completed an iconic legacy project of this administration, the Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu International Conference Center. This world-class edifice has already hosted the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and other prominent Nigerians. It stands as a tall evidence that Imo State is in sync with global best practices in the provision of infrastructure. It is an audacious proclamation of our readiness for business. Furthermore, the parcellation and design of the Umomanekede Estate, Amala, Ngobala Estate, and the Port Harcourt Road Estate are progressively ongoing. We are set to commence site clearing at the Uzodimma Street Estate and the housing estate in Awomama. Looking ahead to 2026, our roadmap is aggressive. We will provide full infrastructure in 6 proposed housing estates at Angani, Nekede, Ngudi, Ngopal, Alfu, and Uzodimma. We have also embarked on the comprehensive renovation of the Ahojoko Convention Center and the Imo State Housing Corporation building. Additionally, we will construct a new secretariat building and rehabilitate the existing staff housing estate at Uzodimma University, Idato. We will also renovate the commissioner's quarters to bring it up to speed with modern housing needs. The Government House Administration, in the course of 2025, will enhance security by installing hybrid solar and main cameras and related fences at Imo State Government Lodge in Asokoro, the Liaison Office in Central Area, Abuja, and strategic areas within government houses. Furthermore, arrangements have been concluded for the upgrade of the government house clinic to a befitting restaurant that can also provide services for government guests. We will renovate the banquet hall to serve as an alternative facility for government functions. We will also construct warehouses for the storage of palliatives and build a dedicated fire service station within the government house to ensure safety. We will reinstate the rigid pavement at the administrative block car park to provide a decent environment for staff and visitors to government house. Our digital economy revolution. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House, Imo State made history as the first of national government in Nigeria to create a dedicated Ministry of Digital Economy and E-Government. We continue to pursue our goal of nurturing groundbreaking innovations to address 21st century challenges in the age of artificial intelligence. So far, our achievements have been transformative. In January, we will continue to scale up Imo digital training. We have concluded and graduated over 65,000 Imo young men and women in various digital skills. Imo digital training will continue in across 15 centers with successful government services. We hosted the long vacation tech bootcamp for kids from the ages of 9 to 16, training them in robotic, coding and AI prompt writing. We successfully carried out the biometric and NIM verified data capture for Imo State Vigilante scheme. Perhaps most notably, on October 10th, we held the graduation ceremony for the last batch of 10,000 beneficiaries of Skill Up Imo, Cohort 3A, empowering them with startup tools. For the 2026 budget this year, we are doubling down on our digital mandate with a comprehensive plan covering human capital, infrastructure, and governance. We propose to train additional 20,000 Imo youths on digital literacy in this budget. We will also catch them young through the long vacation bootcamp and kids can code programs for children between the ages of 10 and 15. Furthermore, to ensure the government keeps pace with technology, we will train 1,500 civil servants on artificial intelligence this year and other digital skills to improve their work delivery. To bridge the gap between training and employment, we will launch a tech talent job program to support 4,000 Imo talents in assessing offshore opportunities. This will be supported by a structured mentorship program to provide career guidance and Imo Innovation Expo to showcase indigenous digital skills. We will develop a state-owned fiber highway to provide high-speed internet and establish community digital hubs in Olo, in Okigwe, and in Owerri to provide rural residents with access to digital literacy. Crucially, we will continue the Imo Digital Identity Project, targeting 95% need capture of the populace to enable access to social welfare interventions. Finally, we are moving our MDAs to a paperless era where they don't need to carry paper up and down, creating an e-government platform for the justice management system, school management system, electronic medical records, agri-tech management system, and homeland security. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our resolve to revolutionize our infrastructure is hinged on our 3R mantra. From the beginning, we have not wavered on our signature projects. Today, our roads are built to standard gauges with proper drainage and full illumination. It is with immense pride that I report to this House some of the roads we have successfully completed in 2025. The 46-kilometer Owerri-Umuahia Dual Carriage Road has been completed. The iconic Imo flyover at Azonta Roundabout completed. The Alaba International Market Road completed. The Toronto-Oji Ekemoha Road completed. The Ihiala Banana Junction St. Joseph Church Eziashi Road completed. The Ngudi Omuma Okoro Road completed. Nkume Umuawa Road completed. Owerri Mbise Malaysia Market Abia boundary completed. However, we are not resting. We have a suite of ongoing projects that are aggressively proceeding, including the Nazi Timber Market Road, Safety Road, the Awomama Okodo Road, the Chukwuma Oji Flyover, Amakoya Flyover, Onitsha Road Access, the new regional government house Eziashi Olo Road, the critical Olo Akopa Oga Road. We are completing by the end of January the complete resurfacing of control post Assumpta up to the boundary of Imo and Amoka, that is the Omesha Express Road. The Nazel Road is ongoing. The Port Harcourt Road to El Moreno bound and River State boundary is ongoing. The Amari Ata Nkume Road, the airport runway, we have embarked on the complete upgrade of Sambaka International Airport runway. We're extending the runway and we're upgrading the lights from Cat 1 to Cat 2. Therefore, have Ugosima Etekuru Road, which is 4.8 kilometers. Nkwere Umo to Dikanafai Road. The expansion of our 4 Gideon Teke to Moody Junction Road. The new Imo Internal Revenue Service. We have already awarded a contract to Krembo to build the revenue house, and 50% down payment has been made to Krembo. And by the end of the first quarter next year, we shall be commissioning the completed building. The rehabilitation and asphalt overlay of Mwidi Road at a 3.1 kilometer dual carriage is going. The Kanumango Avenue, or named the Amago Abama Road, internal roads at Egba Housing Estates, 3 kilometers. The construction of Assumpta, Umuguma Road, Hospital Road, and choosing Dreamland Hotel Road. The rehabilitation of the Zoo, Old Nekede Road, Laresha University Road. The construction of the new functional zoo at the Eziama in Ikedo local government. The rehabilitation of 13 roads in Olo Urban Center. The rehabilitation of itinerary and feeder roads to Concord Avenue. Mr. Speaker, so many projects are ongoing. My desire, by the grace of God, is to leave no project abandoned or uncompleted before the end of my term. Let me assure you, all these ongoing projects shall be given the first charge of completion in 2026 before we embark on new ones. We are now focused on finishing strong, and we have to finish strong. There is no difference between our first year and our last year. We are an active government. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our vision for Imo State is to be the logistic gateway of the East. We have already channeled significant resources to assist Federal Airport Authority in upgrading facilities at Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, including the installation of crucial night landing facilities. This investment is already bearing historic fruit. This year, the Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport recorded major milestones by undertaking its first direct international flights successfully, lifting Christian pilgrims and Muslim pilgrims directly to Israel and directly to Saudi Arabia from Owerri. This proves our capacity for global connectivity. Now we are ready for the transformative phase. We are actively seeking a robust public-private partnership concession to operationalize the cargo terminal. This initiative is designed to reposition the airport as the premier logistic hub for the entire Southeast and South-South zone. To ensure viability, we are creating a strategic economic corridor linking the airport to the Orak Special Energy Filtering Zone, where our gas reserves will drive industrial production. Crucially, the establishment of the Afrexim Bank, Africa Quality Assurance Center, ACA, in Imo State, serves as the master key to this plan. This center provides the certification leverage needed to ensure that goods and agricultural produce originating from Imo State meet global standards, making them ready for immediate export through our upgraded cargo terminal. Justice and the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, the achievements in this sector are quantifiable and robust. In the period under review, the Ministry of Justice handled over 3,000 matters pending at both the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, and the High Court and Magistrate Courts. We have successfully defended the government against civil appeals, proactively recovered government properties, and settled about 20 petitions through alternative dispute resolution. Furthermore, we have collected judgments for the Imo State Law Reports 2023 to 2025, which is now ready for presentation. For 2026 to 2028 period, our plans are ambitious. We will commence the construction of a new Ministry of Justice complex and renovate 5 public prosecution buildings at Owerri, in Abombise, in Olo, Oguta, and Okigwe, and this way We will establish 5 new alternative dispute resolution centers in these same zones and fully digitalize case management for real-time monitoring. In education, Mr. Speaker, we have done clinical work to sanitize the sector by verifying teachers, harmonizing the timetable, and streamlining their curriculum. The results are already yielding fruit. Imo State has been nominated to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming presidential school debate in Morocco this December. We've taken decisive steps to bridge the manpower gap by approving the employment of 6,000 new teachers for our primary schools and train about 200 teachers through the British Council on inclusive pedagogy. In the area of regulation, we registered about 500 new private schools while clamping down on those operating without approval. We also introduced a policy where textbooks are used for 4 consecutive years to save costs for parents. In 2026, we shall continue the massive renovation of more units of modern school blocks across our primary schools and secondary schools, as well as the special school at Urodo in Mbitoli local government. Yes, we are building both solid classrooms and sound minds. Mr. Speaker, the welfare of Imo State public servants is a top priority. We have religiously maintained the prompt payment of 100% salaries and pensions as a first-line charge at the end of every month. We are clearing the backlog of gratuities and salaries that are accumulated for years. Furthermore, sensitive to the crushing burden of the national economy, I increased the minimum wage to 104,000 for civil servants and may even increase the amount if revenue and income permits. With the entry level for lecturers set at 222,000, because we have always been proactive in labor matters. We've maintained a harmonious working relationship with the organized labor. Beyond wages, we have restored electricity and potable water to the 10 buildings in the Secretariat complex after over a decade of neglect. Our fleet of shared prosperity shuttle buses now covers the entire Owerri metropolis, conveying workers efficiently to work. We also trained 1,426 officers from grade level 06 to 08 on ICT to enhance productivity. In 2026 fiscal year, we will embark on the roofing of the office buildings at the Secretariat complex and rehabilitate the walkways. We will construct a 3-story building and conference hall for the office of the head of service and a dedicated administrative block for the Civil Service Commission. Finally, to ensure integrity in the service, we will introduce smart, automated ID cards to eliminate ghost workers. There will be a clock-in and clock-out system. In the area of health, Mr. Speaker, in the health sector, our collaboration with development partners has yielded tremendous results. We have partnered with the Gates Foundation for malaria elimination training and secured a World Bank project implemented by the Clinton Health Access Initiative to aggressively tackle malaria in 2026. We upgraded the Imo State Central Medical Store to a farmer-grade warehouse and established a health data governance framework. At the grassroots, we are building brand new 55 primary health care facilities and recruited 305 skilled birth attendants to provide 24-hour maternal care. Through the Imo State Health Insurance Agency, we enrolled 12,225 pregnant women into the Basic Health Care Provision Fund and paid health premiums for 22,108 pensioners and 37,323 civil servants. Our target remains the enrollment of minimum of 2.7 million Imo residents. At the tertiary level, we suspend neurosurgical services at Imo State Specialist Hospital and established a mental health and rehabilitation center. At Imo State University Teaching Hospital, we installed a 200 kVA solar system and refurbished the house officers' quarters. In 2026, we will fully computerize Imo State University Teaching Hospital, pursue accreditation of programs, and complete resident doctors' quarters. At the local government and chieftaincy affairs sector, Mr. Speaker, having granted full autonomy to local governments and conducted council elections, the state now plays a supervisory role to ensure coordination. To complement grassroots mobilization, we have issued staff of office to traditional rulers and completed the renovation of the traditional rulers complex in Bari. In the area of youth and sports development, Mr. Speaker, we have renovated the Ghana Stadium to international standards. Consequently, our athletes won gold at the World Tennis Open in Morocco and bronze at the African School Games in Nigeria. In the coming year, we shall construct a multi-purpose hall at the National Youth Service Corps Permanent Orientation Camp at Uzodimma in Nkwale. Tourism, hospitality, and culture. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we have invested heavily to return Imo State to its premier position as tourism hub in the country. In 2025 fiscal year, we commenced the comprehensive renovation of Imo Concord Hotel, which will be managed by Hilton Hotel Group upon completion. This iconic edifice, now a world-class 5-star hotel, will be commissioned in a few weeks' time. We also completed the Emmanuel Iwayo International Conference Center to speak to the hotel. Looking ahead to 2026, we are transforming the Greenbelt stretch of Warrior River into a recreational facility through a special purpose vehicle, which is delivery expected before the end of the year 2026. We are also constructing a brand new zoo at the Amamba, Ezema in Ikeju local government area, targeted for completion in August 2026, having demolished the old zoo at Nekede. On the cultural front, we will construct a museum village in Umudurufu, to immortalize King Jaja of Ogogo, honoring the ancestral home from where he was taken into captivity. We will also upgrade the Ezali and Lungu Springs, build a proposed Imo State Film Village and Academy, and reconstruct the Ribari Cultural Center. These projects are specifically targeted at encouraging our sons and daughters whose creative talents are making waves in the Nollywood to domicile the film industry in Imo State. In the area of power, Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our goal is 24-hour electricity. To this end, we secured the license for the RAS Electricity Company. We have completed 95% of the 15-kilometer at 3 kV line network from Emu to New Owerri and from Owerri to Olu up to Omoma Polytechnic, now University of Innovation, Science and Technology, and are on the verge of completing the 45-kilometer 11 kV distribution network. Critically, the Emu to Olu 52-kilometer of 132 kV transmission line is ongoing, as well as the massive 330 kV dual-cycle transmission line from Aloji in Abia State to Emu. The Imo State Electricity Regulatory Commission has been fully operationalized and have since started monitoring and managing the power and 12,800 single phase to be sold to Imo at a very affordable rate to discourage estimated billing which has been the system we met on ground. We will also establish an electronic workshop for the Regulatory Commission. As it stands, I can confidently declare here that in a few weeks' time, the first phase of the Light Up Imo project will be commissioned. This phase will significantly cover Owerri metropolis. The next phase, which will follow in quick succession, will cover the rest of Imo State. This means that sooner than later, the 27 local government areas in Imo State shall have a 24/7 electricity supply. Achieving this feat has not been an easy one. Along the road, we were confronted with a well-scripted conspiratory plot designed to torpedo the Light Up Imo project. But because we are well resolved and unflinchingly in our focus, we were not deterred. To the glory of God, we have overcome those conspiratorial distractions and we are marching forward, sure-footed, to provide Imo people with an uninterrupted power supply. Let me use this auspicious occasion to make this clear. No amount of conspiracies or machinations by any cabal can stop us from providing alternative and affordable electricity to our people. Rural development and water resources. Through the Rural Access and Mobility Project, RAMP 2, we have achieved 70% completion of 82 rural road projects across 26 local government areas and completed 7 river crossing projects. In 2026, we shall continue to expand access roads within our rural communities. In the water sector, we have rehabilitated water schemes at Otamori, at Imo State University, Dikenafai, Oguta, Ameri, Ubumri, and Umuoba. Through the Sowash program, we are revitalizing water supply across all the 27 local government areas. In 2026, we intend to adopt a working water policy and law, and develop an open defecation-free roadmap. Mr. Speaker, this is very necessary because most of the water schemes at our rural area are either not functioning or have been broken down, and most of the markets has no toilet facilities, a situation that has not helped our struggle for a hygiene-friendly environment. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House, we have developed the draft Imo State Climate Change Law and are updating the inventory of erosion sites. We are also on the verge of the second phase of the NEOMA EIP project to tackle erosion. In 2026, we shall rehabilitate the Imo Environment Laboratory and prioritize sustainable waste management. To ensure prudent land management, we established a digital land registry known as the Imo Land Information Service Center to curb racketeering. The manual land administration process had been a very big bottleneck to investment in the state. This new land information center, a one-stop center, offering comprehensive digital land administration information in the state through a secure portal that uses blockchain technology to create tamper-proof ledgers, not only guarantees the confidence of investors, but also has a clear potential for a quantum leap in increased internal revenue earnings. The Office of the Solicitor General of Imo State has also been strengthened with an additional 70 staff to support our digital land administration. In the solid mineral sector, our resource mapping confirms commercial quantities of limestone at Okigwe, Kaole at Ihimembano, laterite at Ngobala, lead zinc at Isu, which has established a solid mineral laboratory in 2026, and we will liaise with the federal government on how best to put these minerals into economic use. In the area of petroleum, gas, and the Niger Delta affairs, currently, overseas oil and gas companies have commenced acquisition and construction in Uzodimma with a mandate to establish offices within the state. We are awaiting the decision of the Boundary Adjustment Commission, which we believe will favor our claims to the disputed oil wells and significantly boost our 13% derivation revenue. Meanwhile, we have successfully settled cases between communities and oil companies in 2025. In 2026, we will provide social amenities to these host communities and partner with the MDDs to ensure 10,000 able men and women and train them in the maintenance of peace and order. They are working closely with traditional rulers and town union executives, security agencies to flush out illegal habitants from our land. Today, the results are visible to all. Breach of peace. To cap it all, the state recently hosted the Imo World Economic and Investment Summit, one of the most consequential gatherings on the continent. This pioneering event drew world leaders, including serving and former presidents, notably the former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, stated publicly that he felt safe in Imo, dispelling the negative and overblown media reports of the past. This event was held without any incident. There can be no louder signal of telling a comprehensive history of our state from 1976, when it was created, to 2026. This compendium will chronicle the journey of Imo State from its creation up to the current fiscal year, timed to coincide with the 50th year anniversary of the creation of Imo State in February 2026, which we intend to celebrate very robustly. This ambitious project is designed to capture and correct the historical narratives encompassing the contributions of all leaders from the time of Ndubisi Kalu to the present administration. Crucially, the final work will be completely digitized, making this official history universally accessible to every citizen, to every scholar, to researchers, both within and outside the country. Furthermore, we will establish the Imo State e-library platform. This platform will serve as a digital library and repository for all public and private documents and assets for the Ministry of Information, complete with metadata-rich indexing and search capabilities. It will also provide visibility and evidence-based statistical dashboards to visualize government achievements and milestones. We will write our own history. We will tell the world who we are, and then the world will believe us. To further advance digital public orientation, we are undertaking a massive overhaul of the Imo State Broadcasting Corporation. In the next 4 months, both IBC, radio and television arms will be completely digitized and transformed. This upgrade will ensure that IBC content is accessible through major cable services and leading digital platforms, dramatically expanding the reach of government information and public enlightenment across the globe. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our vision in agriculture, food security and job creation. In 2025, we supported over 5,000 smallholder farmers, launched the Imo State Accelerated Agri-Entrepreneurship Scheme for 1,500 youths and trained 885 farmers under Imo Live ND programs. The 2026 budget is a call to action. We target a 25% increase in food production and the creation of 10,000 jobs in this sector. We will operationalize 2 agro-processing clusters under the Special Agro-Processing Zone initiatives to reduce post-harvest losses by 30%. This is how we will unlock all the economic potentials in Imo State. Now, let us go into the benchmarks for the 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, this budget is benchmarked on the following national macroeconomic indicators. Gross development product, a GDP growth of 4.2%, an inflation rate of 18.02%, an exchange rate of 1,442 naira to the US dollars, and a crude oil price of $68 per barrel. Despite global instability and local challenges, our fiscal strategy is designed to withstand all these shocks. The gross domestic product of 4.2% is derived from federal government benchmark for the national budget. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I have chosen to designate the 2026 budget as the budget of economic breakthrough. You will recall that last year's budget was christened the budget of expanded economic opportunities. I made it clear then that 2025 budget will give vent to our people to reap from the numerous economic opportunities. We have laid the foundations through the previous year's budgetary expenditures. You will agree with me that in the course of the year, those economic opportunities have been made manifest, with better roads scattered all over Imo State. Goods and services are freely moved from one location to the other in the state. Our markets are booming and our traders are prospering, with huge investments in human capital development. Through skill acquisition, our young ones are gaining employment. We declare prospects for increased investment arising from the recent Imo Economic and Investment Summit. It is now evident that an era of economic breakthrough lies ahead for the people of Imo State from 2026 onwards. There shall be economic breakthroughs through the Light Up Imo project, which will create over 100,000 jobs and empower downstream small enterprises. Salons, carpentry, workshops, plumbing services, tailoring shops, and many other small businesses will boom once we have 24/7 electricity supply. There will be breakthroughs in oil and gas investments, breakthroughs in ORAS, special energy free trade zone, breakthroughs through a truly functional Sam Nnakwe International Cargo Airport, breakthroughs through enhanced internal revenue generation powered by our digital land information center, and a massive breakthrough through our ever-innovative digital economic revolution. So yes, 2026 is the year of economic breakthroughs for our state and for our people. This is why this budget is aptly christened the budget of economic breakthroughs. Mr. Speaker, members of Imo State House of Assembly, I hereby present budget of economic breakthroughs with a total sum of 1,539,573,590,405 naira and 4 kobo. I repeat, 1,439,573,590,405 naira 4 kobo. This represents a 78% increase from the 2025 budget of 807 billion. This quantum leap is predicated on improved federal allocation and internally generated revenue, and my ambition to eradicate a generator-based power economy and provide world-class infrastructure to facilitate the interstate economic breakthrough. Expenditure distribution. Recurrent expenditure. Provisions for recurrent expenditure is 238,499,999,653 naira, representing 16.6% of the total budget. This covers personnel costs, overheads, and subventions. Capital expenditure. A massive 1,201,073,590,752 naira for representing 83.4% of the total budget is allocated for capital expenditure. This is a clear statement of our direction and determination to provide needful infrastructures for economic development. Imo has risen. The 2026 budget framework is benchmarked on the following macroeconomic projections. The federal government's medium-term expenditure framework, fiscal strategy paper, gross domestic growth rate of 3.24%, inflation rate of 18.02%. The exchange rate is paid at 1,502 naira per dollar. The benchmark price of oil is $64.30, while the production volume rate per day is 1.84 million barrels per day. Other prevailing issues within the economy include a high debt service to revenue ratio, infrastructural deficits, such as inadequate power supply and transportation network, constraining industrial and productivity growth, a high level of unemployment and poverty, which continue to pose strong socioeconomic challenges. Furthermore, high level of insecurity in the country and the effect of the Ukrainian and Gaza wars further deepen economic instability. The current revenue, internally generated revenue, our projection is 281,795,391,177 naira. Statutory allocation from FAC 70,920,860,185. Value added tax 104,196,115,900 naira. 13% derivation 36,442,889 naira. Other fact transfers 329,956,893,448, totaling 823,271,261,599 naira. Capital receipts. Descriptions of the capital receipts from development partners is expected to be within the neighborhood of 52 billion. Grants, funds from donor agencies, 329 billion. Total expectation, 382.7 billion. Overhead cost, 97 billion, 11,323,958 naira. Personnel cost, 58 billion. Subvention cost, 53.4 billion. The total recurrent expenditure is 238,499,999,653. This represents 16.6% of the total budget. Now, the capital expenditure, sectorially speaking, on the economic sector, 1 trillion, on social sector, 87 billion, on admin sector, 32 billion, and service-wide vote, 50 billion, giving us a total of 1.2 trillion. In the year 2026, the expected capital expenditure is 1.2 billion. This represents 83.4% of the budget. 2026 allocation to strategic ministries. The Ministry of Health, 698 billion. Works, 87 billion. Power, 190 billion. Education, 60 billion. Agri, more than 20 billion. Rural development and economic empowerment, 15 billion. Entrepreneurship and skill acquisition, 6.4 is within the neighborhood of 1.439 trillion. Total expected deficit is 233. Power, works and education. Improvement in the health sector by rehabilitation of health facilities, both at the primary, secondary and tertiary level, with the provision of essential drugs and the eradication of maternal and child micronutrients. This will have steady power supply in Imo State. Investors from outside the state will want to settle in Imo State to do their businesses. The government is working towards providing 24-hour constant electricity supply to Imoites. Education is very critical. The provision of basic education to ensure that every child's literacy level is not toyed with. This prompted the government to make enough provision to take care of improving teaching aids, training and retraining of teachers, rehabilitation of schools within political wars in the state. Also, Imo State has so many tertiary institutions which needs to be catered for. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will not conclude this speech without a special salutation to the members of this House of Assembly. Over the years, you have proven to be true partners in progress. You have given your full support and cooperation to the executive arm of government. You have been faithful to your legislative duties through the passage of many bills and motions that connect with the welfare of our people. You fought the fight, a good fight for that matter with me, and you have won the battle with me. You have confounded those who expected friction between the legislature and the executive. More importantly, you have served your constituents with distinction. I must tell you, I am indeed very proud of you. Imo people are proud of the 10th House of Assembly and the 9th House of Assembly even before you. In the coming years, we shall continue to work as a team, mindful of the interests of the people who elected us to serve them. To encourage you to do even better, my administration will further improve your work environment. To this end, the House of Assembly clinic shall be upgraded. Also, additional modern communication gadgets shall be installed in the House of Assembly, and their constituency project will be given very serious attention. Further, the construction of the legislative quarters shall be given priority attention in 2026. Finally, Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, the budget of economic breakthrough is the pathway to sustain economic growth. Over time, in many of my public addresses, I have repeatedly assured our people of a new Imo, industrialized and rich with economic opportunities for all. This is the cross of our 3R mantra and our shared prosperity philosophy. In my inaugural address on January 15, 2020, I invited Imo people to join me in the factory room to build a new Imo of our dream, with prospects for growth and prosperity for many. That new Imo is now here. Also, in my second term inauguration address, I said, and I quote, the next 4 years of my administration will therefore focus firmly on deepening our shared prosperity mantra through massive infrastructure, expansion to ensure accelerated economic growth. Today, that vision has brought us to this moment of economic breakthrough. Anyone who witnessed the widely acclaimed Imo Economic and Investment Summit will agree with me that we are on the verge of an economic breakthrough. This budget is designed to translate that momentum into reality. Yes, we have moved from the valley of despair. We found ourselves in 2020 to the mountain top of prosperity. I promised Imo people a legacy. Today, everyone can see not just a legacy, but legacies to the glory of God. Let me chip in on this line for political opponents and detractors. Stop throwing sand. The battle has been fought and won. It is time to join hands with me and be part of our incredible, transformative story. I shall be glad to welcome you to the new Imo we have built. Whatever you are doing, you are wasting your time and money. My eyes are open, I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping. So come and join us. Let us have Imo people. Because Nero Mwaya. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is now my great pleasure to lay the 2026 budget estimate before you for consideration and passage. I know that as usual, you shall attend to the process of this passage with a great sense of duty and urgency. I want to thank you. Thank you, and may God bless Imo State. Thank you. Yeah.
Right Honourable Speaker, I hereby report to this Honourable House that the 2026 draft estimates and appropriation bill have been properly laid on the table. The 2026 appropriation bill is deemed to have been read the first time.
HB 45. The Imo State 2026 appropriation bill is adjourned to Tuesday 2025. Tuesday, December, as to go for second week.
Still on the order of the day, Mr. Speaker, item number 9, comments from honourable members of Imo State House of Assembly.